Hello, my name is Holton Buggs. I'm the Executive Vice President of Sales for OrganoGold International. I want to welcome you to the OG experience. You know, mine started just a little over 3 years ago. It was back in 2008 when I received my first sample of coffee. You know, at that time I wasn't even a coffee drinker, so I didn't even think that the business or even this product would actually be something that I'd desire. But I'll never forget hearing something that Warren Buffett said. And he said that things that you like to do should be a hobby of yours, but things that the world does should be a business of yours. And when you think about that, ladies and gentlemen, that's why coffee for me has been the best opportunity for so many people around the world. You know, over the next few moments, I want to share with you why so many people all around the world, and right now over 17 countries and soon to expand over 50 countries, are actually lining up to drink a cup of OrganoGold coffee. I want to share with you why I got started in OrganoGold. You know, for the longest time, I had been in this industry for over 18 years, and I've been successful. We traveled the world, we've seen so many different places and experienced so many different things. But one of the things that was missing was to be able to have many people around me have the same type of success, or even the hope that they could have the same success that we had. With OrganoGold, it was a little different for me. You know, I never forget sending my mother-in-law a sample of the coffee. Me not being a coffee drinker, I really wanted her input because I knew that she was a coffee drinker. Within 24 hours, she called me back and she said, listen, she said, I need 4 more boxes of this coffee. And I was wondering, why do you need 4 more boxes? I just sent you a box. And she told me she had sold it. And I said, well, I didn't want you to sell it. I just wanted you to drink it and give me your input as to how the coffee tastes. And she told me she was at work that day at the coffee break room, and she had given out some samples of coffee. And 4 of the ladies who had drank that coffee said they had so much energy that they really wanted to buy another box of coffee. Now, that may not mean much to you whatsoever, but I can tell you this. My mother-in-law for 18 years had never, ever once sold one product in the industry of networking. She had never enrolled a person for over 18 years. And here it was. She had sold 4 boxes of coffee and made a $40 retail commission. And for me, ladies and gentlemen, that was it. I knew for a fact that every single person that I introduced the OrganoGold opportunity to actually had a chance to succeed. And that's why I got started. You know, just for one moment, I want you to put your business hat on. I want you to just think like you're a CEO for a moment, and let's not think like an employee. Let's not think like a customer for one moment. I want you to just think as if you were a board member of a major corporation. Now, for many of you who don't have that experience, just bear with me for a moment. I just want to have what I call business coffee talk. Let's share with you why coffee, in my opinion, is the best opportunity that I've ever seen in the industry of networking. First of all, for me, it started with the concept of Starbucks. Many of us have known that Starbucks now is a household name, and for me, I appreciate them so much because they've made it socially acceptable for people like you and me to go out and pay $5 for a cup of coffee. See, never before had that ever been the case. But when Starbucks actually did that, other companies were actually watching what they were doing. Matter of fact, companies like McDonald's came right after Starbucks, and they invented the McCafe. If you ever paid attention, just over the last several years, there's been a major shift in advertising dollars, specifically within the restaurant industry. What McDonald's did is they started catering everything towards the McCafe brand. At that time, I'd never seen too many commercials about their Happy Meals or their McRib sandwiches or their Quarter Pounders. Everything was catered towards that coffee drink. And I was reading an article that talked about during that recession, one of the things that people were not going to give up, no matter how bad the economy got, they were not going to give up their coffee habit. And McDonald's actually created a huge category killer in the coffee industry with McCafe. Right after that, Burger King came around and they introduced the Iced Mocha. You had Wendy's who had a coffee frosty. You had companies like Dairy Queen who was out there selling even a coffee product. And then I saw another company called Dunkin' Donuts. And we all know that Dunkin' Donuts was really known for selling donuts until they changed their logo. And now it's a cup of coffee. You saw companies like Nestle, who was actually known over in Europe for selling cookies and chocolate, who introduced the Nescafe brand over in the United States. And then I saw companies like Subway, ladies and gentlemen, who actually introduced a breakfast menu. It's not because you and I want a foot-long sandwich at 5 in the morning, but they knew that people wanted coffee. And they sell Seattle's best coffee, which is now owned by Starbucks. When you put all of those things together and you think like a business person, for me, it represents one thing. It represents a clue. Who would have thought that the CEOs, the CFOs, marketing executives, and chief executives of major Fortune 500 corporations would all get together and start going towards one particular product for their profits? It's called coffee. When you look at it as well, coffee is the second largest traded commodity on Wall Street. It's only second to oil. In North America right now, there's approximately 255 million people every single day that drink 3 to 5 cups of coffee. Ladies and gentlemen, it's created a multi-billion-dollar industry from a business standpoint. Now, I want you to think about it for a moment. Wouldn't it be awesome to know for a fact that you're involved in a business where people are already habitually consuming a product 3 to 5 times a day and you never have to remind them? You know, one of the things I've seen is this. I've seen that people forget to do important things like maybe kiss their kids or maybe even give them a hug. Or some may even forget to say their prayers at night. But I have never, ever, ever seen a coffee drinker who's forgotten to drink their coffee. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, Organo Gold in our coffee is one of the greatest opportunities I've ever seen of our time. You know, for those of you who are coffee drinkers, you're probably asking, why in the world would I want to drink Organo Gold's coffee? Well, let me share with you why our coffee is different from any other coffee that you've ever consumed before. You know, most coffee is known to be acidic in nature. It's known not to be as healthy of a drink. But Organo Gold, we're so proud to offer you coffee because we know in every single cup it's a healthier cup than you've ever had before. Our coffee has infused in it Ganoderma. It's actually the king of all herbs. It's grown over in China. There's over 4,000 years of history when it comes to the Ganoderma mushroom. There's so many different properties of this mushroom. All you've got to do is Google it yourself, the word Ganoderma, Ganoderma, and you're going to find over 5 million different web searches when it comes to the word Ganoderma. Now, I can't even tell you all of the things that it will do. I'll just share with you my experience. I never forget my first day drinking a cup of coffee, and one of the things that I noticed was about 3 to 4 hours later is I had this surge of energy that was consistent. And I didn't have a crash or I didn't have any jitters that I normally would have if I had ever consumed a cup of coffee. I also noticed the next day that, you know, I had one of the worst cases of allergies that you can actually find. Bloodshot red eyes, scratchy throat, runny nose, the works. And I consumed that 1 cup of coffee, and the next day I noticed that I still had 5 Claritin left in my pocket because I start the morning with 5 and I had not used them. You know, it's been over 3 years and I haven't taken any of those Claritin. Now, I'm not saying that Ganoderma has actually cured me of anything, but what it has done, it has allowed my body to function the way it was designed to function. And I can tell you there's so many people, thousands all around the world, who've actually talked about Ganoderma and our coffee, how they're actually feeling a lot better, and they believe that they're much healthier after consuming a cup of our coffee. One of the key factors to any successful company is its leadership. Bernie Chua is the CEO and the founder and the visionary when it comes to Organo Gold. One of his greatest passions is taking the treasures of the earth to the people of the world. Bernie Chua is also a legend when it comes to the industry of network marketing. He's built teams in excess of over 500,000 distributors over in the Philippines. But one of his most genius ideas was to take a concept of Ganoderma and infuse it into coffee. And people say, well, why coffee? Bernie realized that it wasn't so natural to offer people a supplement that came in a pill form only. So what he did is he actually infused it into coffee, and he said, what if we took the health and we put the health inside the coffee? And ladies and gentlemen, that's why you have the Organo Gold brand of coffee. One of our other leaders that we have is Shane Moran, who's our global master distributor. Shane Moran has years of experience and has built teams all over the world in the industry of networking. Shane Moran also is known to have sold more healthier coffee than any other person in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, both of those gentlemen invited me to become the Executive Vice President of Worldwide Sales in Organo Gold just in 2010. And that kind of put together a leadership team that now leads the whole entire vision of Organo Gold. We also have leaders in terms of our diamonds that we have, some of our blue diamonds, our black diamonds, our crowns, and some of our crown ambassador distributors. If you don't know what those are just really people who've built a large organization, and we've got them all over the entire world. With Organo Gold, leadership is one of the things that you definitely will not go lacking in this company. One of the questions that I get most often is, can I do it? Well, I'm here to say, yes, you can do it. See, regardless of your past failures of the industry of network marketing or regardless of the successes that you've had, what we wanted to do is we wanted to build a business where everyone can participate. Organo Gold's success is as easy as 4 simple questions. As a matter of fact, I want you to go along with me. I'm going to ask some questions, and I want you to either answer in your mind, and you can even answer out loud if you want to. First question I want to ask you is, do you or anybody you know of drink coffee or tea at least occasionally? Second question is, how do you drink your coffee? Do you drink it black or do you drink it with cream and sugar? Third question is, who's your favorite coffee? Who do you normally buy it from? Fourth question is, does that company ever send you a commission check for drinking their coffee? You know what, if you're like 100% of the people I've ever asked that question, the answer is always going to be no. And when they ask that and they say no, I always reach into my pocket, and that's when I take out a sachet and I say, I want to give you a free sample of the coffee that pays. And ladies and gentlemen, every time I present it to them, 100% of the time, they've accepted it. And all I want them to do is just tell me what they think about the taste and how it makes them feel. You know, 1 out of every 5 people that I talk to actually want to become a distributor and enroll in OrganoGold. 2 out of every 5 people actually become retail customers and buy coffee at retail. That's 3 out of every 5 people that I give free samples to want the OrganoGold experience. When you look at a system that is as easy as 1, 2, 3, 4, how could you fail? Ladies and gentlemen, that's why OrganoGold is experiencing the success with people who've never, ever, ever had experience in the industry of networking. OrganoGold has actually put together 8 different ways to earn income. You know, every time you acquire a customer and they consume coffee, every time a sachet is given out, every time you're sampling people, money can actually be earned by you and your team. Let's talk about those 8 ways of earning income. The first one is what we call retail. Retail is very, very simple. It means that the difference between the wholesale cost and the retail cost that you actually charge your customer is going to be your profit. What we find is that most people make anywhere between 50% and some go as much as 500%, and we've seen instances of people actually earning more. Let me give you an example. A box of our black coffee has 30 sachets. It's $17 in North America. Most distributors actually will sell it for about $34, giving them 100% markup. You know, being in the industry of network marketing myself for over 23 years, I have never experienced those types of retail profits